guys, it's your boy Bernard, and welcome back to the Angry Blerd podcast, where I will be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week. So first things first, unfortunately, I do have to give a rest in peace to Mary Rivera. A lot of us may know her for playing Ned's grandmother in Spider-Man No Way Home. She apparently passed away back in April, and the news has just come out. So she only had 3 movies on her filmography. She just started acting like in 2017. She did a movie called Paranormal Highway, then Spider-Man No Way Home, and then she did a movie called Teddy Told Me To. So yeah, apparently she had a stroke, which caused her to go into a coma. And the doctors told her family that even if she did come out the coma, her prognosis would not be good. So the family did make the decision to take her off of life support. So that sucks to have to be the one to make that decision for a family member. So yeah, I got to give a rest in peace to her. Okay, my first story is in regards to Doctor Who. Chris Chibnall, who was the showrunner for, the 13th Doctor? What was Jodie? Was Jodie 12? Was she 13? Then it was 10. Smith was 11. Capaldi was 12. Yeah, so Jodie was the 13th Doctor. And Chris Chibnall was the showrunner on her 2 seasons. 2 seasons and some specials. I can't remember. But he was on the Who Corner to Corner podcast, and he was basically saying that the BBC can't afford any version of Doctor Who. So he said it's very hard for the BBC to fund their programs right now because of what's been done in terms of funding agreements over the past 15 years and the slow whittling away of that, and the increase in big Hollywood monoliths and conglomerates really taking over the market. And really what you've got is the BBC can't afford to fund any drama right now, and they certainly can't afford to fund Doctor Who. So as a 15-year Whovian, because I came in during the Matt Smith era, that honestly sucks. But I guess I'll just have to get into the audio dramas done by Big Finish, because this is ridiculous. Like, there's no Doctor Who comics or anything like that currently going on at the moment. I still need to read Dan Slott's Once Upon a Time Lord, so I'll probably do that this weekend when I'm up in St. Augustine. But yeah, so that's where we are with Doctor Who, unfortunately. All right, so The Mummy, as I told you guys, is coming back with Brendan Fraser and Rochelle Wise. So we got some more casting updates on that. So John Hannah is returning as Rochelle Wise's brother. I can't remember his character's name because I honestly only watched the Mummy movies once, and I never watched Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. And Mike Johnston from Obsession and Teen Wolf is possibly going to be playing their son. We have no idea who he's playing. We just know that he's been included in the movie. But we also got confirmation that Newman Akar from Young Sherlock, and he was in Spider-Man Far From Home. I gotta look this dude up to see who he was. Will be joining the cast. Was he like a villain? I think he was a villain in Spider-Man Far From Home. Oh no, he was like the grumpy guy who didn't talk. I think he was like working. Yeah, he was. Yeah, this guy. Okay, I know him now. All right. Also, Oded Fair, who played Ardif, is returning. And Kevin J. O'Connor, who played Benji, will also be returning. So, I don't think the movie has a release date yet, but if you are a fan of The Mummy, you definitely have time to catch up. I saw that Brendan Fraser was in the gym and he was getting shredded. So, hopefully the movie is good. I mean, it's done by Radio Silence, and they don't miss. Like, they did Scream 5 and 6 in Ready or Not and Ready or Not 2. So yeah, there's that. All right. My next story is in regards to season 2 of It, Welcome to Derry. So Andy Muschietti confirmed that season 2 will be set in 1935. He said in an article with Variety that Derry is a graveyard. Almost. It's a carcass of something because people are depleted, poor, tired, jobless, and homeless. And the kids don't have a suburban, comforting life. So, I mean, I really got to see like some concept art or something like that, because I listened to it last year. Like to get ready for Welcome to Derry. Sorry, I'm recording a little earlier than usual because I have to get on the road and go to St. Augustine. But I honestly cannot wait to see what season 2 is going to look like. And I really would have bought season 1 on Blu-ray, but the problem is Warner Brothers doesn't want you to own anything digitally, so they don't come with digital codes. I might buy them when it goes on sale on Black Friday. I mean, like, I bought like the last 2 seasons of Superman and Lois, and they didn't come with digital codes. And the same thing with the last season of The Flash, which sucks because now, like, if I just want to be lazy and not get up and just watch it on Fandango at home, I can't watch that last season of The Flash. At least with HBO Max, I can watch Superman and Lois. All right, what is my next story? Okay, so my next story is in regards to, the fight against PlayStation, but it's not a fight. So, PlayStation 5 consoles lately are going to be getting a notice on the box saying that, beginning in January of 2028, newly released games on the PlayStation will be available to purchase on the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital format only. This for games being released before January 2028 can continue to be played on this console. So, it's just like, I don't get what the deal was to move from digital. Yet they say digital sells more, but does it really? Because the way they're factoring how the digital sells is like people who have PlayStation Plus, you get 3 games for free every month. So are they counting those as digital purchases or what? Because like I just bought the collector's edition of 007 First Light with the mask, and unfortunately it does not fit my head. But that's 2 copies of the game I bought. And if you listen to the podcast, I'm giving away this copy with the digital code for the deluxe stuff, which you can only use in like the tax sim. So you can't use this cool obsidian gold suit. I'm trying to get this to unblur. I'll just do it real quick. You can't use this cool obsidian gold suit in the game, which is just dumb. Like if I would have known like none of that stuff could be used in the game, I probably would have just bought the game. But I got my collectibles, like my helmet and my crappy golden gun. But yeah, it's just so yeah. Were they not thinking of like the people who buy like Sony movies on like 4K and Blu-ray and DVD and stuff like that? And did they forget like the PS2 became the highest selling console because it could play DVDs? I'm like, yeah, digital future, my ass. All right. My next story is in regards to a Warner Brothers franchise that I never thought was going to be getting a movie. And that is the Jetsons. So, no news has come out from this yet because this was a insider letter to the shareholders that plans are currently in place for a live action adaptation of the Jetsons starring Jim Carrey. And that's all we know. So I'm like, will he be George Jetson? I don't know. Let's see how old Jim Carrey is. I feel like Jim Carrey got to be at least 60 or in his late 50s. Jim Carrey is 64 years old. I mean, he still got energy. He's spry. You see it in the Sonic movies, but I don't know if he can pull off George Jetson. So, I mean, we'll find out. All right. These are a bunch of small stories. It's been a slow week, guys, so I'm sorry. All right. This is a slight spoiler for Spider-Man Brand New Day. So if you have not seen the movie yet, skip this story. So this is in regards to people who have allegedly become X-Men characters so far, as far as casting goes. So we know that Sadie Sink has played Jean Grey because she is in Spider-Man Brand New Day as Jean Grey. So Samara Weaving is in talks to play Emma Frost, and Kit Connor is in talks to play Cyclops. The name Kit Connor sounds familiar. I don't think I've seen anything with Kit Connor in it. I know I've seen a few things with he was in Ready Player One. Who the hell was he in Ready Player One? He was the Red Kid, so a nothing role. All right, he was he was young Elton John. Okay, so okay, that's the only thing I've ever seen him in, because I didn't watch The Wild Robot, I didn't watch Warfare, I didn't watch Heartstopper, or any other TV show he was on. So yeah, I mean, how old is he? He is 22, and Samara Weaving, who Samir did not know was Hugo Weaving's niece, despite the fact that we've had conversations about this, is 34. So I guess like if she's playing Emma Frost and kind of have like a I don't know, kind of like a cougar situation going on, because Sadie is in her 20s. I believe she's 24, Kit's 22, and Samara's 34. And it's going to be a weird love triangle. Because if you know comics, like Scott actually cheated on Jean with Emma. And then right before she died, she was like, y'all can go ahead and date or whatever. So yeah, there's that. All right, so Jurassic Park. Oh, I'm sorry. Another one. It's just, a dream role. Indy Navarrete, who we know from Obsession, well, who you guys know from Obsession, who I know from Superman and Lois. She was on a podcast and she was talking about, meeting with Jake Schreier, who was the director of Thunderbolts, and he also is directing the X-Men movie. And she said that, she would like to play Mystique. So I can see it. Hopefully she does a better job than Jennifer Lawrence. Ooh, shots fired. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Everybody was like, get Hunter Schafer. I'm like, okay. Doing a little bit too much now. In the same way everybody wanted Hunter Schafer to play Zelda, which I will be talking about in a bit. But I do have a story in regards to Jurassic World Rebirth, well, the sequel. And after this, I'll get into Zelda. So Gareth Edwards is not returning. There were some creative differences. He released a statement to Deadline. He said, we had an incredible experience working. Universal and Amblin released a statement to Deadline saying, we had an incredible experience working with Gareth on Jurassic World Rebirth, and said that Edwards would now focus on original projects he's developing. And I don't know what the creative differences are. Only thing we know is that the speculation is the creative differences is because Gareth Edwards is very pro AI, and Steven Spielberg said, no, that shit does not go in my movies. And Steven Spielberg's company is Amblin, so that's the only thing I can think of. Gareth Edwards is always a hit or miss for me. Like, I didn't like Godzilla. I was okay with Jurassic World Rebirth. I liked Rogue One. The Creator was awesome. I'm trying to think what other movies he's done that I've seen. Didn't see Monsters. I don't even know what that is. So yeah, I've seen 4 out of the 5 movies he's done. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, I am going to take my break a couple seconds earlier. Listen to this W ad and I'll be right back. Okay? Okay.
This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task, and go to debbie.gg and use my promo code Angry Blerd 10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's debbie.gg. rebirth.gg with promo code angryblerd10.
All right, I'm back. So, as I told you guys, I was going to be talking about the upcoming Legend of Zelda movie, which we haven't had any footage of, just like, 3 screenshots of, like, Zelda and Link in the woods, something like that. But apparently, Sam Neill, is in this movie. It's going to be one of his last movies. And also Deachin Lockman, who was on Severance. She was in several shows. Was she she was on what was it, Being Human on Sci-Fi, Altered Carbon, The Last Ship, Animal Kingdom, Dollhouse. She has joined the cast. Also, Yvonne Strahovski from Chuck and the Handmaid's Tale. She was also in Dexter. She played I can't remember her name. She is the lady who ended up raising Harrison. She was the woman serial killer who Dexter had a thing for. She died of cancer because Harrison said that in New Blood. Yeah, we have no idea who none of them are playing. My guess is that Sam Neill will be playing the King of Hyrule, Zelda's father. But yeah, no idea on who any of them will be playing. But I do know who's going to be playing Ganondorf, and that will be Yuli Latakfu. I'm pretty sure I just butchered his last name. And I was like, where do I know this guy from? But he has done a lot of work with Dwayne Johnson. He was the skinny version of Black Adam in Black Adam. And he was also The Rock on Young Rock. So he will be playing Ganondorf. Yeah, and I think those were the only movies he was in. Oh, wait, he did not play young, skinny Black Adam. He played Hurat, or aka The Champion. He was also in Maxine, which I still haven't watched. And I watched the other 2 movies in the Pearl franchise. So yeah, I hope this movie is good. Like, I'm not the biggest Legend of Zelda fan out there. I played A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo. I didn't play Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, or Ocarina of Time. I played Twilight Princess. I did not beat it. Samir, you still owe me a copy of Twilight Princess. And I beat Breath of the Wild, but I did not beat Tears of the Kingdom or what's it called? Hyrule Warriors, I want to say. And there's another one that they just released on like the Switch 2, which is kind of like the sequel to Hyrule Warriors. But I don't have a Switch 2, and like I said, I'm kind of on the fence about getting one. But yeah, that's it for the Zelda news. All right. Did anybody see the trailer for Violent Night 2? Because I am very excited for this movie. It's been like, 4 years since the first one came out? It's like, I don't know what is the holdup for these movies. Yeah, 4 years, 2022. But we did get a synopsis, and we did get some surprising faces in this movie. So the synopsis is, after Santa is put on the naughty list and sapped of his magic, he must rediscover the true meaning of Christmas while taking on a ruthless gangster who terrorizes a small community. So David Harbour is returning as Santa Claus. All right. Kristen Bell is Mrs. Claus. Jared Harris, I know this guy from somewhere. He's always playing an asshole. He's playing Mason. Where do I know this guy from? He was in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Was he Moriarty? He was in Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. I'm sorry, guys. He was Moriarty. Yeah. So, yeah. He was also in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Joey Pants. Joe Pantoliano. Everybody calls him Joey Pants. From The Matrix. He played Cypher. He was in Memento. You know him when you see him. He was also on Wonder Man. Daniela Melchior, who, a lot of people may know from Love Suicide Squad. She played Ratcatcher 2. What was she in recently? Oh, Anaconda. She was in Anaconda, Fast X, Roadhouse, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Who was she in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Oh, she was Aura. I don't remember who Aura was. She was probably one of the animals. Also, King Batch is in this movie. In AEW superstar, well, wrestler, because they don't use the word superstar, MJF are in the movie. And honestly, it looks good. I can't wait. December 4th. Like I said, I just want to know, why did we have to wait 4 years? Well, we did have a writer strike and actor strike. He had to go shoot Stranger Things and Thunderbolts, so I think I got my answer. Honestly, you know, I'm still gonna watch it whenever it comes out, and I will definitely be reviewing it. I don't think I have any more stories. I'm gonna see if I can find something, but honestly, I think I'm done. Like I said, slow news week, guys. And Chris was supposed to join me on the I was like, wait, what? Chris was supposed to join me on the review for Spider-Man Brand New Day, but he is apparently asleep. Despite the fact that he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be up. All right, so I am going to review Batman Cape Crusader. So I didn't finish the second season. I got like 3 more episodes left. But let me go ahead and talk about the episodes that I've watched so far. So far, I've loved it. I'm like halfway through episode 7, where we get Rose and Thorn. But I got to honestly say, like, my favorite episode so far is episode 2, which is Rocket's Red Glare, where we kind of, flesh out Roxy Rocket, who doesn't have any type of background or characters whatsoever when she first appeared in Batman the Animated Series. I don't like she eventually appeared in comics, but she hasn't been seen since, like, I want to say like the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. So I haven't seen the Joker yet. But yeah, I'm loving it. The show. What was it? The Devil's Due am I thinking about? There was an episode that revolved around Jim Corrigan's getting the death sentence. Oh, that was episode 5, The Spectral Hand. And he became the Spectre, and he went to Barbara asking for forgiveness for, being dirty and almost killing her and Jim in, I believe, the first season. But yeah, guys, check out Batman Cape Crusader on Amazon Prime. All 10 episodes are up. I just haven't had the time this week to watch it, and it dropped like last Friday. And I've just been kind of busy ever since. But yeah, so there's that. All right, what am I going to talk about now? Am I going to do X-Men 97, or am I going to do My Adventures with Superman? You know what? Let's do My Adventures with Superman. So, season 3, episode 7? No, I'm sorry, episode 8 is Raining Superman. It's Raining Superman. All right, so as I told you guys last week, Jonathan came back with, a Supergirl. And like I said, since the timeline changed, he is now going by Jonathan Lane, who comes from a different timeline, and he has a sister, Laura. So they go to the Kip Farms, and they tell everybody that they came back in time to kill Lex with orders from General Lane. And Lois thinks it's Sam Lane, but nope. General Lane in this timeline is Lois. Clark is trying to connect with his son, and he ain't having it. Lex is basically trying to get in the good graces of Amanda Waller, who is the head of Checkmate. So he shows her the Eradicator, and he tells her that the clone is made out of Superman's DNA with a sample of Lex's gray matter. Amanda sees how unstable Luthor has become and decides to shut it down. Laura shows up to kill Lex, who activates the Eradicator, where, Kara, Laura, and Jonathan fight the Eradicator, who basically kicks all their asses. I believe the Eradicator killed Kara, and Jonathan crashes out because his aunt dies, and the Eradicator steals his time band and goes to the future. And Amanda has Slade arrest Lex. Clark and Guess Bizarro travel to the fortress where he is going to try to get his powers back. I like this episode. I had no complaints. So I did see the preview for next week's episode, and honestly, I really don't know how Clark is going to get his powers back after, everything that happened. But yeah, keep watching, guys. 3 more episodes left? Yeah, 3. All right. What is next? All right, so let's talk about X-Men 97's episode 8. What's it called? Death's Dead Hand, I believe is what it's called. Oh, I'm sorry, The Dead Man's Hand. So Gambit is back from the dead, and he basically goes back to New Orleans and recruits his sister, his brother, like the what's the Thieves Guild. Brainwashes all of them. X-Force brings Apocalypse's corpse to Genosha. And Gambit explains that Cable explains that Gambit is back and he killed Apocalypse. So Professor X uses Cerebro to try to figure out what Gambit is. It's like he went home. So they hop in the Blackbird, go to New Orleans. Another Blackbird it's not the Blackbird. It is X-Force's ship. I can't remember what it's called. Gambit brainwashes Nightcrawler and kidnaps Rogue. Gambit also tells Rogue that once upon a time, Apocalypse fell in love with Chandra the External, who, we saw in episode 4? 3 or 4, when Kang said, "Peace out." And he said, "We can be together forever. We just have to steal her power and bind it to you." He kills External. The X-Men and X-Force show up and try to take out all of Gambit's forces, but Nightcrawler kicks everybody's behind. Professor X goes into Gambit's mind and tries to save him, but Apocalypse is still in there, and Rogue also joins in and knocks everybody out. So they manage to actually overcome Apocalypse. And then they leave. They leave Cable stranded there because he was about to kill Gambit. And so Sunspot and Jubilee said, "We're done with you, Cable, because you are too far gone." So they leave with the X-Men. Valerie Cooper shows up with X-Factor to team up with X-Force to take out Apocalypse and I guess the X-Men, because she's like, they're too far gone now. So yeah. I don't really know how I feel. I mean, I know Gambit becomes death in the comics. It's like one of the few things that I didn't read because it was in the 90s. Like I said, I didn't read comics until like 24, 25 years ago. But yeah, good episode. All right, let's go ahead and talk about it, guys. Spider-Man, Brand New Day. Directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. Stars Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon. I almost said Jacob Elordi. John Bernthal, Sadie Sink, Florence Pugh, Tramiel Tillman, Mark Ruffalo, Marissa Tomei. I cannot remember the name of the man who played Scorpion. I am drawing a blank. Michael Mando. All right. Also, Liza Colon Zayas, Olivia Booth Ford, and Iman Esfandi. So, as you know, this movie takes place 4 years after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, but we start there. So get ready for a long description. All right. After the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, Stranger's spell is still in effect. The world does not remember Peter Parker, and they don't remember that he is Spider-Man. We jump forward 4 years. Ned and MJ have graduated MIT, and Peter's only friend is basically the Punisher. So, that tells you everything you need to know about his social life. So, overworked, isolated, and grieving the death of Aunt May, Peter commits to being Spider-Man 24/7. But after seeing MJ and Ned move on without him, Peter starts to have a mutation. And then he goes to Bruce Banner for help. And he asks him about his inhibitor, to keep the Hulk at bay. He's like, it works, but then you also have to go into the ethics of what is the good parts and what is the bad parts. So he makes his own inhibitor chip that neutralizes his out of control arachnid hormones that are basically taking over his human hormones. So he actually gets organic weapon for a bit, but then he puts on the inhibitor chip to kind of balance everything out. So then things start to go sideways when Peter comes across a mind-controlling villain who is, after damage control, looking for something called VMAX. But then you find out after a while that the villain has figured out that Spider-Man is Peter Parker and is going after MJ. So Peter goes after MJ and says something to her, and they kiss on the roof. And you find out that said person has taken control of MJ and basically throws her off the bridge. Peter's lenses photographs the person. He finds out that it's Jean Grey. He takes MJ to Frank to protect her. Jean also takes control of the Hulk to try to figure out what's going on at damage control and to find her sister, Sarah, who was taken by damage control. Frank shows up after MJ tells him to go help Spider-Man. They fight the Punisher. Frank gets mind control for a bit. Peter is able to put the inhibitor chip on Jean to suppress her powers, which I'm going to have some questions about after I'm done talking about this. Banner kind of gets back in control after almost killing Pete. Jean gets taken in by damage control, and they start studying her powers, and you find out that they pushed her sister to her limit, and it caused her to die, and that the VMAX that she saw was the name of the air conditioning company. So that was the last thing she saw before she died. Jean basically puts almost all of Manhattan in a frozen state. Peter is able to make it to where are they again? I can't remember. They're at one of the islands on in New York. Also, MJ finds the note that Peter wrote at the end of No Way Home. And she's like, yeah, I don't even know you, dude. So, yeah, we might have known each other before, but I'm like, ooh, hate to see it. So, Frank is outside the bubble. He is like, the only way we can take this girl down is to kill her. Frank takes a shot while Jean is in Peter's head. And he has seen the moment after the end of Spider-Man Homecoming where Aunt May and Peter have a conversation about his powers and you can do all the good in the world, but you still need people. And Peter takes the bullet for Jean, and Jean uses her powers to keep Peter alive while Punisher gets him to the hospital. Jean goes on a bus to head upstate. Everyone is cheering for Spider-Man to recover. Peter starts to realize he needs to go live some life. He meets up with Ned in a diner, and he introduces himself as Peter, and he does the handshake that they always do in all the movies. So, yeah, that was it. And then the end credit scene is the spider tracker that Ned has. The app. It shows Peter and twins, and then it shows him out in space. So what does that mean for Peter? I don't know. Did I just get a phone call? I did. Good. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I didn't cry, but I did get choked up at some parts. Like, Peter seeing MJ with her new boyfriend, who everybody's saying is Paul, but he doesn't have a name in the movie. The subtitle credits him as Paul, but I was surprised to see Florence Pugh in this movie. Like, I saw her at the red carpet, but I didn't know like she was in the movie. I thought she was just being there to support a fellow co-star of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I also like the fact that, the suit is kind of a homage to Toby and Andrew. And I was like, did they CGI his mask again? But no, apparently they changed the texture. Some of it is CG when the eyes move and whatnot. But I was doom scrolling and I came across an interview that Tom was doing. He was like, they changed the type of lenses. So like at certain points you can actually see his actual eyes in the lenses. And I was like, oh, okay, that's actually good, because I thought the mask was entirely CG for a majority of the movie, which it wasn't. So you can actually see his eyes, which is something that they do in the comics a lot. Ruffalo killed it as always. Everyone's happy they got the Savage Hulk back again, because we haven't seen that version of Hulk since the beginning of Infinity War, when Doomsday, I said Doomsday, when Darkseid, whooped his ass. Ned's addicted to energy drinks. But yeah, thoroughly, I enjoyed this movie. Like, bro, like, this movie, I don't get, like, Chris was supposed to be on this episode. Chris had a lot of things to say about this episode, so I don't know, like, what's going on, but obviously he's not here because he must be asleep. So, I loved it. This is like a 10 out of 10 for me. People were just having questions. Like, the only question I had was, how does Peter make money? Because we don't have it. We have a Daily Bugle here, but it's kind of like InfoWars. So, like, what's he doing? And there was this prop guy on. He went on Twitter and he was talking about, some of the things he did, like how he had to replicate the handwriting on the bag when Tony drops the suit off in the memory scene with Aunt May, where he said, "This belongs to you." And the chili that Frank had, he named it after Jerry Conway. But unfortunately, Jerry Conway passed away a few months ago, so he did not get to see that. So, Liza Kolan-Zayas is playing Jean the Wolf. Hopefully she doesn't die in like the next movie or anything like that, because Jean the Wolf is one of the few characters that Spider-Man has a good relationship with on the police force. It's like Jean the Wolf, Yuri Watanabe, and George Stacy. So yeah, I don't know if the post-credit scene is going to be in relation to either Toby or Andrew possibly showing up in Doomsday or what, or Tom being in Secret Wars, because he's not in Doomsday. I'm trying to think for this. I can't really think of anything else, guys. So yeah, that is it. Thank you for listening and watching the podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg. Use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. It is a brand new day indeed. All right. Peace.